Yes, it's a Fox 54 weather impact alert day. As you kick off July and prepare to celebrate America's 250th anniversary, it's important to find ways to stay cool against the recent heat. It's where we start. I'm Kenesha Dees. The heat is here to start the month. Take a look outside. You don't really see much sunshine, but oh yes, best believe the heat is there. Humidity also bringing in uncomfortably hot temps to much of the Tennessee Valley. But will it have an impact on your plans for the weekend? We've been under a heat advisory for 3 days now. Today, the warmest. Let's bring in Fox 54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman to find out. Jordan, first of all, how hot did we get today?
I am so glad you asked, because the Huntsville International Airport did in fact see the highest temperature we've seen so far this season, so far this year. The Huntsville International Airport recorded a high temperature this afternoon of exactly 99 degrees. Our friends over in the Shoals saw a high temperature of 97 degrees. Definitely the most uncomfortable day we have seen so far this week, but we are getting a little bit of relief. Not everybody, but some of us are getting a little bit of relief. We've seen some scattered showers and thunderstorms push through the Tennessee Valley over the last couple of hours, the strongest of which is kind of this little cluster of thunderstorms kind of hanging out in Limestone County, Athens, along Highway 72 back into Madison, talking about some heavier rain. But the heaviest precipitation appears to be kind of along Highway 72, again, Limestone County, and then heading over into northwest Alabama. Rogersville getting some incredibly heavy rain, a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning, maybe a little bit of hail thrown into the mix as well. Also talking about some gusty winds. This activity is going to begin to fizzle out over the next couple of hours. I do, however, have other opportunities for rain in the forecast and the continuation of the heat. We'll discuss it in a couple of minutes.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that. In the meantime, residents are asking questions after the Heritage Plantation's controversial goose removal plan took another turn. Now, residents and protesters are trying to find out what happened after hundreds of birds appeared to vanish overnight. Fox 54 told you protesters gathered outside the neighborhood last night in a final push to save the geese and call for humane alternatives. Less than 24 hours later, the geese are no longer here. Fox 54's Valentina Chalala is in Heritage Plantation with what we know so far.
Less than 24 hours ago, this pond was filled with geese. Now the sounds of honking are gone, and here nothing but feathers remain. For many community members, the disappearance of the geese comes after days of emotional debate surrounding the HOA's decision to move forward with a euthanization plan. Protesters argued for humane alternatives and questioned whether other options could have been used.
In a perfect world, I'd love to see these geese relocated.
Wildlife biologist and former USDA employee Dana Johnson argues relocating the geese wouldn't have been a viable long-term solution because they had already established the area as their home. He adds Canada geese have strong homing instincts and would eventually return.
They have great homing instincts. They're coming back. They just are. So you would have to take them 300 miles east or west, and that would put us in 2 other states pretty much. On top of that, if you could find a place that says, I'll take them, well, as soon as they're flighted, they're coming back. They're going to go back to their homing instincts.
Johnson says large goose populations can create health and environmental concerns due to the amount of waste they produce, adding it can carry diseases dangerous to humans, including salmonella and avian influenza. But for residents, they say even if they couldn't change the outcome here, they hope to continue spreading awareness about humane wildlife management options. In Madison, I'm Valentina Chalala, Fox 54 News.
Well, those other wildlife management methods include non-lethal approaches used by companies like Flyaway Geese. We will hear more from them tonight after the game. We've learned a Huntsville man has filed a proposed class action lawsuit against Huntsville Hospital over a major cyber attack that allegedly exposed patient information. Fox 54 previously reported the attack dates back to January of 2025. When an unauthorized party accessed sensitive data, including names, social security numbers, medical record numbers, medications, and other health information. Cerner, a third-party electronic health record vendor, notified the hospital system of the breach last August, but patient notifications were delayed at the request of law enforcement investigators. The lawsuit accuses Huntsville Hospital Health System of failing to properly protect patient information and seeks damages along with changes to the hospital system's cybersecurity practices. A shooting inside of a Franklin County home led to the arrest of a man and the recovery of a dozen guns, authorities say. The Franklin County Sheriff's Office's deputies responded to a home in the Alto area yesterday around 9 a.m. When deputies arrived, the victim told them James Bell shot a gun inside the home multiple times and assaulted him. The sheriff's office says deputies found 12 guns, ammunition, and tactical gear you see here. They also learned Bell had 2 outstanding warrants and previous military training. Deputies say they attempted to talk to Bell, but couldn't get him to leave the home. Deputies requested help from the FBI and emergency management officials who helped get Bell to exit the home. He was arrested and charged with aggravated assault, reckless endangerment, 12 counts of unlawful possession of a firearm, and resisting arrest. Bell's court date is set for August 3rd. His bond was set at $300,000. One person injured after an early morning shooting in Huntsville today. Huntsville police and emergency crews you see here responded to a reported shooting near Salem Drive in Victory Lane around 2:30 a.m. When officers arrived, they say they found one person suffering from a gunshot wound. Investigators say an armed man entered a home and allegedly threatened people inside before one of the occupants fired a weapon in self-defense. No charges are expected against the resident who fired that gun. The injured man was taken to the hospital in critical condition and is being investigated for possible burglary charges. We've learned a Scottsboro man behind bars after a domestic violence incident involving strangulation. Scottsboro police say officers responded yesterday around 10 p.m. to a home on Press Road and found a victim with injuries consistent with strangulation. Investigators also say there was an active protection from abuse order prohibiting contact between the suspect and the victim. Police say the suspect, pictured here, Audie Parkis, fled before officers arrived. Officers used a drone, you see here, to locate him nearby, where he later surrendered. Parkis is charged with domestic violence by strangulation and violating a protection from abuse order. He's held in the Jackson County Jail. A fight between 2 men escalated into a stabbing in Huntsville last night. Huntsville Police Department says officers responded to the 800 block of Maysville Road around 9 p.m. after a report of a stabbing in progress. When officers arrived, they say a witness told them the 2 men got into a fight and that one of them cut the other with a knife before both left the scene. One of the men later returned and told the officers he used a knife in self-defense. HPD later located the other man, who told officers he wasn't injured, didn't seek medical treatment, and didn't want to cooperate with investigators. A chase that started in Georgia and crossed into DeKalb County ended when the driver crashed into the Henniger Baptist Church. According to a Henniger police officer, the driver was going more than 100 miles per hour when they missed a curve and crashed into the basement of the church. You can see it right there on that video. The man was taken by ambulance to Erlanger Hospital in Chattanooga. His condition unknown at this time. The church still assessing the damage you see here to the building. The Cortland police chief released from the hospital following a 2-car crash last night. That crash happened at the intersection of Highway 20 and County Road 150. Chief Spence Butler sustained injuries to his head and shoulder, but was alert and speaking, being taken to the hospital in stable condition. According to Cortland Public Safety Director Scott Norwood, Butler has since been released. Aaliyah will investigate the cause of this crash. The clock has officially run out for unregistered short-term rental owners in Decatur. Following a 90-day grace period designed to give property owners time to get permitted, the city is moving from education to strict enforcement today, and it comes with penalties. While officials are preparing to lay down stiff daily fines, some local hosts welcome the new regulatory structure, saying it will protect neighborhoods from destructive parties and unregulated outside investors. Fox 54's Logan Alexander Russell tells us what this could mean for you.
If you own a short-term rental in the city of Decatur, your 90-day grace period to properly register your property with the city has officially ended. Wednesday marks a brand new chapter for Decatur's short-term rental market. The city's 3-month grace period has officially ended, placing unpermitted properties directly under the microscope.
Today is the day that we gave grace period from April 1st till now, a 90-day grace period to July 1st, and now we'll start monitoring short-term rentals in the city of Decatur. So if there are any people, any residents that own short-term rentals and have not applied to get a permit, they must do so now, because we're starting to monitoring and we might excise penalties.
Under the ordinance, any property rented for fewer than 30 days must be registered with the city. Failing to comply can cost hosts up to $500 per day. But local real estate investors like Sammy Garrett say these rules are reassuring. He believes a clear system will protect the community from irresponsible operators.
I love that we finally have something in place so we can deter, others that might have some ill intent to try to have Airbnbs for maybe the wrong reasons or whatnot, especially those outside investors that buy up a bulk.
The Decatur Planning Department makes it very clear they don't want to eliminate the short-term rental market, which stretches the city's lodging capacity during crowded events like Rock the South. But with monitoring now fully underway, they say the window to operate under the radar is closed. In Decatur, Logan Alexandra Russell, Fox 54 News.
The city's planning department advises all local operators who still need to file their portal registration to do so immediately. The necessary compliance checks and safety protocols can be viewed and downloaded on the City of Decatur's Planning Department website. Multiple other laws are going into effect today here in Alabama, including a law increasing the penalties for making threats against schools, hospitals, or nursing homes. Making a credible first-degree terrorist threat will now be a first-degree threat. It's upgraded from a Class C felony to a Class B felony. Another law going into effect allows local school boards to decide whether to allow chaplains on public school campuses. Learn more about all of these new laws and more on FOX54.com.
Hydration is the most important thing we can do.
You heard it from a doctor. Hydration will help during the scorching summer heat to avoid heat stroke and heat exhaustion. We explain what those are. Your Wellness Wednesday is next. No One's Crossroads released its rules on launching those fireworks on the 4th. Stay with us. It's a scorcher in North Alabama. This summer heat is a threat, especially for those of us who plan to spend a lot of time outdoors. This Wellness Wednesday, we want to be mindful of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. But what are they? We learn from medical professionals and how to avoid them. The dangerous heat can trigger heat-related illnesses if you're not careful. Dr. Wes Stubblefield with the Alabama Department of Public Health says it's important to spot the signs.
Some early signs of dehydration that might lead to what we call heat exhaustion, which is a more serious type of heat illness, would be things like heat cramps, where you're sweating a lot, you're losing electrolytes, and your muscles start to cramp. That might be an early sign.
Dr. Kim Middleton with Huntsville Hospital says those symptoms can lead into heat stroke.
You're looking at seizures, numbness, tingling, headaches, and really high fevers that can get up to 105 or above, which is a medical emergency.
Here's how you can stay safe during this heat wave. Dr. Stubblefield says hydration is key.
It's as important as staying cool and and knowing the symptoms of illness. Hydration is the most important thing we can do. The body needs the ability to be hydrated, to stay hydrated, and then to rehydrate. It's not enough just to come in and drink water or electrolyte solutions after you've already lost a bunch of fluid.
Dr. Middleton says now is especially important to keep an eye on your children.
Kids are smaller than adults, and so they are actually 3 to 5 times faster at getting heated up than an adult would when we're outside.
Middleton says that you should be mindful of taking some medications before heading outside.
Big ones typically are antibiotics that can cause sun sensitivity, and so that's a big one to be mindful of. Everyone should wear some sunscreen when they're out in the hot sun anyway, so that should help, but I would highly recommend avoiding the heat intensity, especially between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yes, and find more Wellness Wednesday topics and hear more from the experts right here on the FOX54 app. Wildlife officials in Tennessee with increased boat patrol presence this holiday weekend. They'll remind you of how to stay safe while out on the water, which, Jordan, wouldn't be a bad idea considering how hot it's been.
Yeah, definitely been hot over the last couple of days, and that heat is going to linger at least as we head into your Thursday. We'll talk about it in just a couple of minutes.
We're County 9, what's the address of your emergency agreement? Okay, your wife is in a bar, you said she's under signed.
This is what he's going to tell you.
How to get out of that situation.
And I grabbed the gun.
Trying to find the first place to put a body.
No, sir.
The only thing they could do was kill him.
You want to say anything? We, the jury, and to find the defendant.
Yes, on the warmest day we've experienced so far, Lake Gunnersville would be a nice place to relax and cool off. Much of the heat throughout the Tennessee Valley heading into Independence Day, but today is the warmest so far.
Yeah, today was just disgusting. There is really no other way. Yes, the sun might have made the sky look pretty, but other than that, it was disgusting. It was horrible. Did not enjoy it whatsoever.
I'm surprised you didn't say it was oppressive.
Well, that is the nice way of putting it.
Oh,
As a matter
okay.
of fact, it was disgusting, disrespectful, and otherwise unenjoyable.
So disgusting, disrespectful takes it up a notch.
Yes.
Okay.
And then otherwise unenjoyable is just kind of the cherry on top. And I don't like cherries on top.
Wah, wah.
I mean, I like the heat, but what we had today is just too much. It's going to be hot through the rest of the summer, but it's typically not going to be as hot as it was today. We are, however, getting a little bit of relief. Some of us have seen some relief over the last couple of hours in the form of some scattered showers and thunderstorms, a lot of which has been packing a bit of a punch. Let's zoom in on that activity. Limestone heading into Lauderdale counties. A couple of different severe thunderstorm warnings here. Both of those are going to expire at 6:30. The biggest concern there going to be the threat for some incredibly heavy rain Some gusty winds. There's also been a little bit of hail associated with this activity. Thankfully, the hail has been on the smaller end of the spectrum. Folks driving along Highway 72, it's going to take them a little extra time to get home this evening. So if you're waiting on somebody to get home that's driving along 72 through Limestone County, heading into Lauderdale County through Rogersville or Athens, they're going to be a bit delayed getting home for dinner. And then we're also talking about some heavy rain up towards Elkmont, that activity beginning to push its way into Lexington. Those folks beginning to talk about some very heavy rain, some gusty winds, frequent thunder and lightning as well. This activity should begin to fizzle out probably over the next couple of hours. But there are other opportunities for some scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast through Thursday, Friday, and then as we head into your 4th of July. Better opportunities for rain build in through Sunday and Monday, and then especially through Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Here's Futurecast as we head into the lunch hour on Thursday. Very similar to what we're talking about today, where not everybody's going to get wet and not everybody's going to get wet at the exact same time, but understand that some scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be in the forecast. The first half of the day on Friday looks like it's going to be dry, but then it's a rinse and repeat. Scattered showers and thunderstorms once again begin to develop across the area. We dry out through the overnight, early into your Saturday morning. The activity is much more isolated in nature as we head into Saturday afternoon. Definitely some good news. Those of us that have seen a little bit of rain, I've really seen the heat indices drop off, but it's plainly obvious who has not seen any rain this afternoon. Fayetteville still feels like it's 109 degrees, feels like it's 114 right now in Scottsboro, 102 over in Fort Payne, but then these numbers are much lower in locations that have seen more cloud cover and some scattered shower and thunderstorm activity. FOX54 weather impact alert day going to continue as we head into your Thursday. The extreme heat warning was continued into Thursday. It'll now expire at 7 p.m. Heat advisory is going to expire at 7 p.m. on Friday. Heat indices tomorrow going to look very similar to what we saw today, where they have no problems climbing into that 107 to 112 degree range. So be very mindful if you are going to be out and about tomorrow afternoon. Heat indices do begin to slide off, but still mildly problematic through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then even as we head into Monday of next week. Temperatures currently sitting in the mid-70s. We don't drop off that much as we head into the overnight. I don't know why that says 85. It's supposed to say 75. It's going to be 75 degrees late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Have a good look at the next 7 days. 97 Thursday afternoon, 96 on Friday, 95, 94 Saturday, Sunday, hanging out in the lower 90s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week.
Yeah, we'll stay with weather. The heat risk is affecting 4th of July plans. The city of Madison announced they're canceling tomorrow's America 250 parade on County Line Road due to extreme heat. In a statement to FOX54, the city says, quote, protecting the safety of spectators, participants, and city staff is our top priority, and this heat poses a real risk of heat-related illness, end quote. The parade will not be rescheduled. The city says the July 3rd fireworks show at Dublin Park will continue as planned. The Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency is increasing patrols over the 4th of July weekend as part of an effort to keep you safe. Starting Friday, officers will take part in Operation Dry Water, a campaign focused on fighting boaters who are under the influence. Officials say alcohol is a major factor in many boating deaths and, if caught, could lead to fines, jail time, and losing boating privileges. Wildlife Officer Hunter Daniels says while officers want you to have fun, they also want you to stay safe.
We want everybody to celebrate, everybody to make memories with their families, but we also want to remind people to think about the other families that are out there trying to do the same thing. So we want you to have fun, we want you to enjoy the waterways, but we want you to do so responsibly with everybody's safety in mind, those on your boat, your family, yourself, and those around you.
The agency says before you hit the water, choose a sober person to operate the boat, wear a life jacket, and stay alert. As Independence Day approaches, residents in Owens Cross Roads are reminded to follow local laws regarding when and where you can launch those fireworks. Under the city's fireworks ordinance, fireworks are permitted during the week before and after the 4th of July. Fireworks cannot be used within 600 feet of a school, nursing home, or church unless an exemption has been granted. You must stop using fireworks by 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday and by midnight on Friday and Saturday. Mo, all eyes on Team USA.
Absolutely. They're back in action tonight in a win-or-go-home situation over in San Francisco. Got a final preview of the game, which is coming up next.
Fox 54 Plus has your news, sports, and weather Start your evening with Fox 54 at 5:30, delivering the latest headlines and live reports straight from the scene. Then, stay informed with Fox 54 News at 9, featuring your Tennessee Valley certified most accurate weather impact team, tracking everything from tornado threats to traffic delays during severe weather. Fox 54 Sports Extra brings you more of what sports fans crave, with deeper insights, expert analysis, and all the action that matters most. On Fox 54 Plus, you'll also find Alabama politics, plus 24/7 weather radar and real-time forecasts to keep you ahead of the storm. Looking for a quick recap? Don't miss Fox 54 Week in Review, highlighting the biggest stories of the week. Jumpstart your morning with Morning Rush, fast-paced news updates featured with uplifting stories from across the globe. Get your entertainment fix with Getting Real, where we break down movie reviews, top 10 lists, and spotlight the newest film. Die Hard fan? Locked On Sports dives deep into the Crimson Tide, the Tigers, college rivalries, and pro action. True crime warrior style? Killer Cases brings you gripping real-life stories that stick with you. Hungry for more? Cooking with Style serves up mouth-watering recipes that are easy to make and impossible to resist. From movie previews before you head to the theater with Take a Look to must-know headlines from across the region and around the world with In the News. Watch all of these shows on demand and also on the Fox 54 News app. Available on Android and iOS devices. Streaming 24/7.
The month of July has arrived, and for the U.S. men's national soccer team, it means that the knockout round action can finally begin for the team that reps the red, the white, and the blue. In about an hour's time, Team USA will take the pitch in the San Francisco Bay Area against Bosnia and Herzegovina. This will be a tough matchup for Team USA, as Bosnia is one of the best third-place finishers in the group stage. While the U.S. comes into today's match as a favorite, they aren't underestimating their opponent. Veteran defender Tim Reeves says they won't take this team lightly.
We know they're a strong team, physical team. They've obviously qualified and made it through the group stages for a reason. So it's not a fluke that they've gone through the playoffs and knocked Italy out and made it through to the World Cup. So we'll have to pay attention in all aspects and all moments of the game. And set pieces will probably play a big part, but yeah, listen, at the end of the day, we have to worry about and take care of ourselves and do what we have to do to win the game and make it through.
All right, pregame action continues right now over on Fox 54. Then action on the pitch for tonight's game begins around 7 p.m. You can see that game live on Fox 54. Then after the contest, we'll have highlights and the recap from the West Coast. All right, here's a look at your Nissan road to the World Cup Championship bracket. England advancing out of the round of 32 into the round of 16. And Belgium just knocked off Senegal, so they now have a spot in the round of 16. And tonight after the game, I'll have more of your top headlines from across the sports landscape, including a very active NBA slate this afternoon. Kanisha.
Yes, Mo, coming up on Fox 54 News at 6, residents asking questions after hundreds of these geese vanished overnight. The latest from Heritage Plantation. And that summer heat can pose a threat, especially for those of us planning to spend a lot of time outdoors. We'll tell you how to stay safe this Wellness Wednesday. And the heat isn't just affecting the Tennessee Valley. Atlanta fire and rescue officials are urging fans to hydrate ahead of World Cup games. What officials are saying coming up on Fox 54 News at 6 on the Fox 54 app.
Some scattered shower and thunderstorm activity continues over the next couple of hours. That's really going to begin to fizzle out here as we begin to lose a lot of the daytime heating. Fox 54 weather impact alert day remains in place for Thursday, as it is going to be disrespectfully hot once again. We'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes.
We're going to be using that word a lot, aren't we?
I mean, yeah, it comes around every summer, so it's here to stay for a minute.
Right.
Yes, all right. Well, stay hydrated, folks. We have more show for you very shortly. Stay with us.